Hello? Everyone has their first memory of achieving something. Maybe winning an award or doing something really cool for the first time. I grew up surrounded by overachievers. They achieved so much that I could barely understand the extent of it. And me? I was just average. Hello everyone, I'm Srikruthi Kolli. For me, my first ever memory of achieving anything was when I was around 5 years old. It was my first ever dance competition and I'd been preparing for weeks. And when I went on that stage, I never felt more alive. In the end, I got second place. I remember laughing and celebrating with my family. And then I even went to school the next day and flaunted my trophy around. But there was a small detail that only me and my family knew. I did get second place in a competition with just 2 people. Then, fast forward 8 years, and even when I did truly achieve things, I still didn't think it was enough. I didn't think it was worth it. Maybe if this same story happened today, I wouldn't dare tell a soul. When we're kids, we grow up celebrating every little win, like the first steps or your first words. But as we grow up, our achievements lie in the shadows of the achievements of the people around us. When we go from this constant celebration to this constant comparison, we tend to lose sight of what matters the most. We get caught up in the cycle of constantly displaying our worth to others. Remember the word I said in the beginning? Average? Well, that's how I felt my entire life, especially with school. So I'd constantly try and give my 100%. That maybe one day I could achieve something big as well. But like I said, I grew up with overachievers and I had the biggest one right in my house. I remember it was 5th grade Olympiad results day and I opened my score. I got a 3rd place overall in my grade for science. Good, right? And then my brother opened his math score. Guess what? 2nd overall in the whole entire world. And that's how my achievement fell in the shadows. The thing with growing up with overachievers and just being average is you're conditioned to not celebrate your wins because you feel like everyone around you is judging you. I, however, was privileged enough for my family to never compare me. For the people close to me, truly understanding me, but me, internally, I wanted that same reaction. I wanted to be better. And that put me on edge. See, these overachievers were not the villains of my story. In fact, they inspired me. But healthy inspiration would be a slight push in the right direction. But for me, I felt like I was shoved off a cliff. And after constantly just seeing average results, I started losing hope. I thought, whatever I did, I wouldn't matter. However hard I worked, nothing worked out for me. So I started questioning the purpose of everything I did. What was the purpose of life? What was my purpose in life? Where did I fit into society? That's when I started constantly just asking if there was greater purpose in everything I did. If I didn't find it, I didn't do it. I lost all my just cause moments. I started mindlessly operating in a cycle of what I thought society expected of me. This is what the ancient Greeks would refer to as Kyklos. I thought if I just did what people expected of me or what they wanted, then they'd like me more. Now, but that wasn't, for a split second, it did work. People did like me more and they did seek my company. In fact, they enjoyed my company. But for some reason, I wasn't satisfied. I felt zero sense of contentment. That's when I took a step back and looked in the mirror. And I saw a person I hardly even recognized staring back at me. I'd given everything that made me me. I'd given it up. I'd let my insecurities cloud my judgment. No, I no longer wanted people's validation. I simply just wanted to be myself again. Like how Kairos is the ancient Greek concept of qualitative time or the right moment, there's another ancient Greek concept of pattern, Kyklos. We all live in a Kyklos world where we all live in a Kyklos world where we mindlessly operate in a cycle. I was stuck in the cycle of comparison, of competition, and constant seeking. I seek the validation of others so badly that I didn't even know what I wanted. I grew up watching Disney movies. I was obsessed with them. I thought that one day, magically, everything would change. One day, my routine would break and that I would have my moment. But unlike the movies, Kairos doesn't occur magically by the wave of fairy godmother's wand or by the appearance of Prince Charming. In reality, Kairos is within all of us, and it's waiting to be unlocked the second we take our first intentional breath. Now you see, unlike the movies, Kairos isn't that one magical moment that changes everything. It's the constant transition that occurs when you choose to live and not simply exist. It's when you genuinely seek experiences and put yourself out there. Most of us just do what we're... When I told myself I was average, I only did what I was told, nothing more, maybe less. But we get stuck in that Kyklos loop. When I took a step back and I realized what I was doing, what I was actually doing, a whole new world opened up to me. That's the same reason why I have the privilege to stand here today. I might not be anything special, but I'm just grateful in this day and age to be alive, truly alive. I'd like to think of Kairos as not just one type of presence, but a presence that weaves around you and shapes your perception of time. It makes every second worth experiencing. It enhances every moment. When I was 5 on that stage, I didn't care for winning. I was doing something I loved. I was dancing. I was present. I was alive. Back then, I didn't know it, but I already had Kairos. And the rest of my journey has been finding that Kairos again. Finding that feeling again, not on a stage, but in the quiet, little, everyday moments. Because that's what life is, isn't it? Those quiet, everyday moments. We don't live in a Kyklos world, in a Kairos world. It's not about how many achievements you have or how great they are. It's about those little, everyday moments, the just causes, the sweet nothings. That is what makes us alive. That is Kairos. And personally, I don't even know when my Kairos started again. But what I do know is it might have been during maybe my locks of wonder, or who knows, maybe even my sleep. But something I know is that it doesn't have to be that big flashy moment where everything falls into place. It can just be that constant force that pushes you to wake up every single day and live. It's that trade-off between that Kyklos cycle for that Kairos moments of being. And how do we do that, you might ask? Well, writer Robert J. Hastings has clear instructions. So stop pacing the aisles and counting the miles. Instead, climb more mountains, eat more ice cream, go barefoot more often, swim more rivers, watch more sunsets, laugh more, cry less. Life must be lived as we go along. The station? That's it. That is what life is. It's go eat more ice cream, go watch sunsets, do whatever your heart desires, because that is Kairos and that is life. Thank you.